The night sky was pierced by a flash. A Ukrainian drone struck the Druzhba oil pipeline, a vital artery carrying Russian crude oil into Europe. The explosion was more than a military strike. It was a message. The war has moved beyond the trenches. This is now a war over energy, infrastructure, and economic survival. The attack choked off a critical flow of oil, sending shockwaves through Central Europe and rattling global energy markets. This is part of a deliberate, escalating strategy. Ukraine and Russia are systematically targeting each other's energy facilities. These are not random acts. They are calculated attacks to cripple the enemy's war machine. For Ukraine, every hit on a Russian refinery is a blow to the Kremlin's war chest. For Russia, every missile on a Ukrainian power plant is an attempt to break Ukrainian resolve. Drones, once for surveillance, are now decisive weapons in a relentless economic war. The rules of engagement are being rewritten in real time. If energy fuels the war, cutting it off is a direct path to victory. Ukraine is taking the fight to the source of Russia's power, its energy empire. By targeting pipelines, Ukraine isn't just defending itself, it's trying to dismantle the economic engine funding the invasion. The attack on Druzhba showcases Ukraine's growing military sophistication and ability to strike deep inside enemy territory. It tells Moscow no part of Russia's critical infrastructure is truly safe. This escalation raises the stakes for everyone, forcing nations to confront their own energy dependencies. The front line is everywhere now. The war for energy is shaping the future of the conflict. To grasp the impact of the attack, you need to understand the Druzhba pipeline. Its name means friendship, a relic of the Soviet era, but its purpose is power. For decades, it's been one of the world's longest and most important oil pipelines, carrying millions of barrels westward. It's a symbol of Russia's energy dominance over Europe and a massive source of revenue for the Kremlin. The oil sold through Druzhba funds everything from pensions to the military. Any disruption directly hits Russia's bottom line. For Central Europe, Druzhba has been both a blessing and a curse, providing affordable oil, but creating deep dependency on Moscow. Hungary and Slovakia built their energy systems around this single source, making them vulnerable to Russian pressure. Moscow has long used energy as a tool of foreign policy. The war in Ukraine has forced a dramatic re-evaluation. Most of Europe has moved to cut Russian energy, but Hungary and Slovakia remain heavily reliant. Any attack on Druzhba threatens their national security and economic stability. They're caught between historical ties to Russia and obligations to the EU. The pipeline is now a flashpoint in a much larger struggle. The pipeline strike triggered immediate outrage in Budapest and Bratislava. Hungary and Slovakia condemned Ukraine's action, fearing for their energy security. Their economies depend on Druzhba's oil. They're the last major EU members still buying significant Russian crude. The sudden halt exposed their vulnerability and deepened EU divisions over how to deal with Russia. Hungary, led by Viktor Orban, has maintained close ties with Putin, prioritizing economic interests over EU unity. The attack forces these divisions into the open, pitting Ukraine's survival against Hungary's and Slovakia's economic needs. Kiev's move complicates its relationship with some European neighbors, highlighting the diplomatic risks of military action. Hungary and Slovakia see the attack as a hostile act, not just a blow to Russia. Their outrage is a direct result of their strategic vulnerability. The incident puts immense political pressure on their governments. It's a harsh reminder. In today's interconnected world, no one is insulated from the conflict's ripple effects. Why risk angering allies by attacking a pipeline that supplies the EU? The answer is layered. First, it's a message to Hungary and Slovakia. Support for Ukraine comes with real sacrifices. Kiev is applying pressure, reminding them you can't fund Russia's war and claim solidarity with Ukraine. Second, it's retaliation. Russia has bombed Ukraine's infrastructure for years. Now Ukraine is hitting back at Russia's economic lifelines. Striking Druzhba hurts Russia's wallet and shows Ukraine's capacity to inflict real pain. Third, it's a demonstration of Ukraine's growing military strength and strategic autonomy. Successfully hitting such a target signals defiance and capability. Ukraine is not just defending, it's shaping the geopolitical landscape. This operation projects power far beyond its borders. Finally, it's part of a broader strategy. Ukraine can't match Russia tank for tank, so it targets Russia's economic Achilles heel, oil and gas. Systematic attacks aim to bleed the Russian economy dry. The goal: make the cost of war unbearable for the Kremlin. It's a high-stakes, asymmetric approach. The risk is real, but so is the potential reward. Ukraine is betting that economic pain will force change in Moscow. The pipeline strike is a bold move in a war of attrition. The energy war is redrawing Eurasia's political map. The Druzhba strike is just one move in a larger geopolitical chess game. Russia's grip on its neighbors, once enforced through pipelines, is weakening. The war has accelerated a shift. Countries once in Moscow's orbit are seeking new partners. Ukraine is forging ties with Azerbaijan and Kazakhstan, helping them bypass Russian routes. This cooperation gives Central Asia new independence and weakens Russia's dominance. Europe benefits too, reducing its reliance on Moscow. The US and EU are backing these new energy corridors with investment and diplomacy. Projects once theoretical are now being fast-tracked. Central Asian nations are gaining leverage. Russia is increasingly isolated. Energy is the new currency of power. China, Turkey, and the West are all vying for influence in this changing landscape. The war has opened a window for nations to break free from Russia's shadow. Each Ukrainian strike on Russian energy infrastructure chips away at Moscow's power. For years, Russia's oil and gas made it an energy superpower, giving it political leverage and funding its military. Ukraine's strategy directly undermines that dominance. The war has forced Europe to confront the risks of relying on Russian energy. The invasion shattered the old model. Now Europe is scrambling for new suppliers and accelerating its shift to renewables. This isn't a temporary pivot, it's a permanent reduction in Russia's market share. The loss of Europe as a customer is devastating for Russia's economy. Moscow must now sell oil and gas at a discount to China and India. Less profitable, less influential. Russia lacks the infrastructure to fully redirect exports eastward, leaving much of its energy stranded. The economic model that sustained Russia for decades is breaking down. A new, more diverse global energy map is emerging. Ukraine's actions are a catalyst for this transformation. The result? Russia is just one producer among many, no longer the dominant force. Its ability to use energy as a weapon is fading. The world's energy order is being rewritten. The old energy order is collapsing, replaced by new routes designed to bypass Russia. The Middle Corridor, linking Central Asia to Europe via the Caucasus and Turkey, is becoming a strategic priority. It offers Kazakhstan and Azerbaijan direct access to Western markets, free from Russian control. Ukraine is positioning itself as a central hub in this new network. By partnering with Caspian producers, Ukraine is helping build a resilient, interconnected energy system. The US and EU are backing these projects with investment and expertise. This cooperation signals a united front against Russian energy coercion. The race is about more than pipelines. It's about new alliances and a future based on mutual benefit. Non-Russian routes will fundamentally alter the flow of power and money across Eurasia. The future of energy will be defined by these new partnerships, not by Moscow. The war's impact reaches far beyond Ukraine's borders. Intense fighting is matched by relentless diplomatic maneuvering. The conflict has become a defining event of the 21st century, reshaping the world in real time. It sent shockwaves through the global economy, disrupting supply chains and fueling inflation. Nations are reassessing security policies and alliances. The war has accelerated geopolitical shifts and hardened divisions between democracies and authoritarian regimes. It's not just a regional fight, it's a contest over the future global order. Reliable information is a critical battleground. Staying informed is essential. The war has triggered renewed focus on security, exposed supply chain vulnerabilities, and forced a rethinking of energy policy. The struggle for Ukraine's freedom is also a struggle to define the principles of a new era. The Druzhba pipeline attack is a glimpse into the future of conflict and global power. It shows that wars are now fought over infrastructure, energy, and economic vulnerability. The era of relying on a single supplier is over. The future is about diversity and resilience. This means investing in renewables, new infrastructure, and broader partnerships. The war in Ukraine has made this transition urgent and necessary. Russia's attempt to restore its empire has backfired, accelerating its decline and uniting its adversaries. A new geopolitical landscape is emerging, less centered on Moscow, more connected to Europe and Asia. Ukraine's resistance is the catalyst for this transformation. Energy and politics are inseparable. The flow of oil and gas is the flow of power. By challenging Russia's control, Ukraine is fighting for a future where energy is a tool for prosperity, not war. The outcome will shape energy security and the balance of power for generations. The world is watching. The stakes could not be higher.